So we're going to take a look at the Xero Pure on the job. So what does the Xero Pure do? The Xero Pure is going to take all the minerals out of the water and take it down to zero so that we can use pure water to clean the glass with a nylon or boar hair brush. So to kind of give you an idea of what, you know, water starts at, we're at a commercial building here. We're going to test the water. Let it run for a second. So we are starting out at a TDS of 168. Shut this off so you can hear me. So we are starting out at a TDS of 186. So we're going to hook it up to the Xero Pure. So this is where it's good to have a system that has an RO filter, which is reverse osmosis, and a carbon filter, so that a lot of the sediment gets taken out of here, and then this reverse osmosis filter, the RO filter, will take out a general large amount of the minerals and deposits in the water, bringing it down to most likely anywhere between like 12 even to 1 TDS, and then our DI resin will take it all the way down to 0. Now if you are in the range under usually like 100, all you have to use is a resin. We'll take that apart later, kind of show you what that is in there. But with this RO, we only usually have to replace that every 3 to 4 years with heavy use. I've had the Xero Pure now for a year, and I've only had to replace the resin one time. What I've learned with it is that when you're doing the resin, when you're replacing the resin, you want to pack it tight. I let it run for 2 weeks. I go back, open it up again, and fill it up again just to the top, because it will condense even more. I will show you what that filter looks like in this video as well. Let's hook it up and I'll kind of show you the different levels of, we won't test the carbon, but I'll show you the different levels of TDS as it goes through the system. Levels of what goes on here. So this red tube here is your wastewater tube. Wastewater comes out of the RO. I'm not sure of all the science behind that, but it obviously works. And I usually just take that and like put that in there, or let it go out into the street. Kind of just depends where you are. So the hose from the spigot, I use this 0G flat hose, works really good. I just got it from Walmart. The Xero Pure comes with a yellow, I forget how many feet hose as well. You can use that as well, or you can attach that to here and have that work from there. I'll show you the levels from here, just going out of the RO. Always make sure when you turn your water on that you don't have any kinks in your hose, allowing for optimal pressure, right? So right here we have our on-off switch for our RO. Quite a bit of air in here. It's not running full go right now. So the RO water, let's test this. I'm actually going to change where that wastewater tube is coming from. I'm going to move this over to the street and let it drain out there. It's a super hot day. Your wastewater is going to come right out of there. I will show you the TDS of the wastewater. It's usually pretty high. So remember, the water coming out of the spigot was at like a 180-ish. Wastewater is usually pretty high too. Wastewater is at 255, 253. Over to the clean RO water, just coming out of here. We test that, and we're getting a TDS of 8. Okay, so the RO is working perfectly. RO you can also use to say if you just want to clean solar panels with the RO, or not windows, it doesn't really matter. You can do a lot with just the RO. So then this little black tube down here that screws onto here, this is your outlet area that you're going to put your plug in for your tubing, your quick connect, right? I always just take this off, and then when I'm transporting it, because these can break pretty easily, these telescopic quick connects for your tubing, really great to buy. But I also remove that. I don't leave that on my tubing over there, which I use the Xero tubing. Okay, I put that under there, turn that on. Now that's bringing water through my DI to come out of here. So now let that run for a second. You just got to give it a little bit. If you ever take it all apart and the first time you get it, it's going to take a while for the water to all go through and get pressure. So give it some time, a good 3 to 5 minutes to build up pressure inside. So remember, we were at 8 with this, we were at 180 here, and we are at 0 TDS after going through the whole system. So that's about it as far as reading the TDS and setting up the Xero Pure. I'm going to take apart the carbon filter for you, just so you guys can see what that looks like. Carbon's real simple. You get these white things to take off the stuff if you ever need to, which you will need to. This carbon filter I replace about every few weeks to a month. I just replaced it earlier this week. You can just get these filters at Walmart, Home Depot, really anywhere. I think this is a Brita carbon filter, and it's just simple as that. You just put it back in, put it back on like so, twist it on, and just do it by hand tight. You don't need to use this again to make it tighter. So take off the resin tank. You're going to use the big white one they give you here, and take that and turn that counterclockwise. There we go. So it twists off like that. Untwist. Comes off just like that. And there's your resin filter. Xero Pure comes with 2 of these. You always want to make sure every time you change it, you get some magical lube. You want to lube up that really good and put that back on. I want to open this up. This is super tight with resin. That orange you see is the resin, but that's coming through the actual white filter that's in there. I have this really packed tight. And then you can see here, right in there, is the inlet for the RO water to come through here. Comes up in the resin filter and then comes out here with that clean, my hands are dirty, huh? With that Xero Pure water, truly Xero Pure water. So to put it back on, just keep that like that. You don't have to worry about really anything. Just put it right there, make it tight again. Just by hand. You don't need to use the crank again to crank it. I just get it tight by hand, and that's it. So that's the carbon filter and the DI resin filter. So this is what it looks like when you're just using the resin. You're just going from your spigot through the DI resin tank out of here. I always pack the resin super tight. I kind of learned that the first time I changed it out. I had some problems with levels, and what I did is I packed it super tight, ran it for a couple weeks, opened it back up again, it condensed, I packed it again, and ever since I've done that, I've had 0 issues, and I've ran this DI resin tank for over 6 months now. So I just finished doing the uppers here at this job, and now I'm going to show you what I do when I put the Xero Pure away. So turn the spigot off here. So I take out my hose from here, right? And what's going to go back in here, if you remember, is the wastewater tube is going to go back in here. Like I was saying earlier, I do not leave this on. I always take it off. I just put it in my toolbox by itself, even with this quick connect. It's just a personal preference on that. Now I turn the RO off. I take off this and I put it back here on the out portion of the DI tank. We are now all closed off and it's ready to be put back in the truck. It's as simple as that. Here, away.